everyone, it's your favourite Atomic Blonde here with, of course, some Sunday lunch for you. Hope you've all had a great week. Been a bit busy, a bit crazy as always, and as always, I am out this weekend, so it is a pre-recorded one. Sorry. I'm going to try and do a live one next week. Got my brain. Because it's my 1 year anniversary here on YouTube. Yes, Atomic Blonde LDN will have been running for a year. I can't believe it. The official anniversary, when I dropped my first video, I believe is the 31st of July. So if all goes to plan, going to try and do a live stream next weekend. Fingers crossed. Hope you can all join me. In the comments, do leave any comments if there's anything particularly you want me to talk about or shows you want me to recap on, just general. And what would you like to see from me going forwards? Is there, obviously I've just recently launched my Atomic Reads, which covers books and Audible, different genres. I've done A.G. Riddle. He's very much a sort of sci-fi thriller author. I'm working my way through his most recent book, Quantum Radio, which is shaping up to be really good. So check that out on the channel. But for now, let's crack on and focus on this week. And of course, what have I been watching, as always? So obviously, Hijack. Yes, so up to episode 5, 2 to go. So this week we're finally sort of starting to learn a bit more about what is going on, and we still don't know why the plane's been hijacked. Maybe a blooming good reason for this, let me tell you. But we're finding out a bit more about the hijackers, the size and scale of this hijack as well. So last week, obviously, one of the hijackers the young lad got injured in the fight. He got stabbed in the lung. And one of the characters on board was a doctor and was able to, do the old pen trick to enable him to breathe. But he's pretty banged up. We established this week that he speaks to the lead hijacker and says, "Oh, I called mum." So therefore Idris overhears this and twigs that they're brothers. He then sees this as an opportunity to sort of say, look, we need to, he figures out that they're coming over Romania. And is there a possible way that they can land the plane, so they could take the lad off the plane to get proper medical attention? And they kind of tell his brother that, look, if we don't land this plane, these kids got an hour to live. We've got to get him off the plane. The first officer speaks fluent Hungarian, and they managed to orchestrate it so she can talk to the ground and convince them to land. There's some obviously disagreements with the hijackers. The female hijacker, who is a complete cow, by the way, she's absolute cold-hearted biatch. It's like, we can't land the plane. It's going against our mission. We have to do this. And he's like, well, he's my brother, so I don't care what you say. So it all kind of plays out, and it's going to plan that they're going to land the plane. But then the young lad is like, don't land the plane, don't land the plane. He understands there's going to be some serious repercussions. Meanwhile, back on the ground, we saw the foreign minister being handed a list of demands. This transpires to be they want release of 2 prisoners being held in the UK. And obviously there's the usual conversations of, we don't negotiate with terrorists. So, what are we going to do? And where the son, the lad on the plane phoned his mum, they're able to track down the mum. And it transpires that Max Beesley's character knows her from I think, previous indiscretions. And so her husband was all part of this gang or mob or some sort of organized crime. And he was murdered by this because they thought he grasped and he hadn't. So this is the environment these boys have grown up in. They've obviously gone into the business as well. And she says like where they are, there's people all around them. They've seen the police come in. They're going to accuse her of grassing. And she's in Max. Well, you haven't. She goes, yeah, but they won't care. And I just want my sons back. She goes, and I can't tell you anything. She manages to run away. She says, oh, I need to get a tissue, and manages to escape out the back. And rather than them think that she said anything to police, she manages to get onto a motorway or dual carriageway and basically goes out in front of a lorry, and game over for her. So there's some very, very serious organized crime behind all of this. And saying and whether they're getting these people out of prison is actually the end goal, or it's just more subterfuge, we don't know. Again, last week we saw that there's some thugs kind of verified where Luther Idris lives. Oh my days, my brain. He's Sam in this, not Luther. God, I don't know why you guys listen to me sometimes. His son has gone to his flat because he doesn't want to be at his mum's flat because Max Beasley is kind of hanging out there and he's not happy. So he's sort of chilling out at the flat. He phones his dad to say that he's there. And then these guys in overalls basically turn up like cleaners. But obviously there's like cleaners and there's cleaners. He clocks them and sort of tries to hide. And this is kind of where the episode ends, is that you sort of see him kind of in the bedroom trying to find somewhere to hide, and the thugs comes in and sort of puts the gun under the bed, and it ends there. So did he find him? Didn't he find him? We also, there's a scene where sort of back in the Middle East, right back in like the first couple of episodes, where the security girl sort of checks the bags coming through. Remember she was killed in her apartment, and the guy looking for her was also killed. This has been overseen, and now their bodies have been found. So we still don't know why these people were killed in the Middle East. And obviously, but it's this crew. It's the same thing, but there was like one of the killers was Scottish, so it's still part of this same crew, even though they're out in Abu Dhabi. Have killed them are the same crew that's now after Idris's family. The reason this has happened, they explain, is that if there's any sort of passengers on board who get a bit out of hand, they automatically send the information through their passport and their family. So if they do cause trouble, obviously they can threaten their family and tell them to behave. So, and this was relayed to him. So again, that's why they can't land the plane. And that whole scenario, they were going to land the plane. There was troops on the ground, and basically the young lad's so agitated and so worried, I think, about his brother, that he pulls out the pen himself and basically deletes himself by doing that. So the young lad now is sort of perspirated. They're after Idris's son, and we've got this list of demands to release people from prison. So it's all building quite nicely. It's got the potential to have, two cracking last episodes, a good penultimate and an end episode. I'm still very much enjoying this, I have to say. I think, the pacing's just slightly off, I would say, but not enough that you think, oh, I can't be bothered to stick with this. I'm just massively intrigued about what this bigger picture piece is. Why have these people been killed? It's got to be something bigger than just releasing people from prison, because why kill the people in Abu Dhabi? It just doesn't make sense. So I'm really enjoying the fact that I don't know. It's frustrating, but it's not so obvious that you're just sitting there going, oh, well, it's obviously because of this, because there's just not enough information to draw those conclusions. So I think they're doing a really good job of starting to flesh out who these people are, why we should care or don't care, and they're just really starting to drip feed the information in now. So penultimate episode next week. Apple TV drops on a Wednesday. Do check it out if you have Apple. Oh, so moving on. So if it's not Disney, it's Warner Brothers, right, guys? So the good old DCEU, or DCU, I think it's just called now. Who knows? It's gone through so many iterations. I really don't care anymore. So yeah, poor old Blue Beetle. I think as I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, that obviously when the first trailer dropped, there's a throwaway line in there about Batman being a fascist, which obviously rattled a lot of cages. The director came out all gloaty gloating, oh, my work's done, and yeah, we provoke the people that we want to provoke, i.e. your customers. Why? So, and obviously now with the actors strike rumbling on and the writers strike rumbling on, which is probably not going to be resolved anytime soon. I think they're talking autumn now. The stars of or the studios can't even promote the film. So just before the strike, the director came out and sort of had a bit of humble pie and was sort of, please go see my film. I didn't mean to, be such an arse. But, not very sincere, quite frankly. I think you just learn the hard way that you just can't slap a name on projects now and people will turn up. People have had an absolute gutful of being called names because you're basically calling out the quality of the product. So anyway, this was forecast projections for what Blue Beetle will open numbers, and it's a shockingly bad 12 to 17 million in its domestic opening weekend. As a point of comparison, it says here the Flash earned 55 million and Shazam 30. So look, about half of Shazam. So given that they decided, because it wasn't originally, but now a few months back, James Gunn suddenly said, oh, this is the start of my universe. Who knows why? This is not a good start for the James Gunn universe if it continues to track this badly. And like I say, the fact that nobody can promote this film, nobody can kind of course correct on what the director said. Obviously, nobody's gone to Comic-Con in San Diego. This is looking to tank epically. So not much you can say. I mean, there's not a lot of interest as usual. They went out their way to alienate the audience of this film. Kind of tough, really, I guess. I mean, I do feel for James Gunn. I think he generally wants to make a really good universe. Comics are his shtick. But the stars are just not aligning for that. And then hot on the heels of Blue Beetle, oh God, Aquaman 2. Like I say, I'm already out. I've got no desire to see. I actually liked Aquaman 1. Sorry, not sorry. I did enjoy it. There was, leave your brain at the door, fun film. But as I've said before, the turd's still in it. So point of principle, I won't go and see it. But we assume she's still in it because Warner Brothers have come out and said they've done a third set of reshoots now. God knows what this is tracking in terms of spend. This article was sort of saying the fact that Warner Brothers is willing to keep spending money to make the film better shows that the studio has faith in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, James Wan's sequel to his 1 billion hit. Now, there's no way this is going to make $1 billion, but there's such a big delay between the first film coming out and this film coming out. I think the first one was 2018. Obviously, the Snyderverse isn't there anymore, so there's not a lot to attract people to want to see this because whatever story's told isn't going to be finished. Like I say, you've got the turd in there. So really not much going for this film. And the reason for we keep getting continued reshoots is that they're just saying, obviously it keeps screen testing very badly. This came out lower than Batgirl. And we know what happened to Batgirl. It just seems crazy that they're going to push forward and send this out. So within the reshoots, you've had apparently Michael Keaton was in it originally. Then they scrapped that and they brought Ben Affleck in. Now they've scrapped that. And James Gunn has sort of said, and I get what he's saying with this, but we've decided to remove those because, as I said, the Snyderverse isn't going to continue. There's no point having these characters in there setting up what's coming next if that story is never going to be told. So in that sense, I think it does make sense. But again, you're ending up with such a disjointed movie. They're sort of saying through all the screen tests that the story doesn't really hang together. It doesn't really make sense. So with these reshoots, they're trying to address that. But at the end of the day, apparently the story is kind of a bit of an allegory, or just in your face if it's Hollywood, I don't imagine, about climate change, which again kind of makes sense to the character, if the oceans are being affected. But is that entertaining to people? Is that something people want to go see? I don't know, but they would have spent a lot of money on this film, and there's just no way that I think this is going to get the $1 billion ticket that the first film got. And that was a bit of a blindside for Warner Brothers as well. Nobody expected the first Aquaman to do as well as it did. A lot of that had to do with Jason Momoa having his shirt off, obviously. But like I say, actually it was just a fun kind of switch your brain off film. We could do with some of those, but this is not destined to do well, fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. So they'd probably be better off just shit canning it and taking the tax write-off, quite frankly. But they're plowing ahead. I think it's due to come out in December. If they've only just done reshoots, that means post-production. Current strike, post-production will not get done. So whether this will come out this year, anybody's guess. If it gets bumped again into next year, just no one's going to be interested at all. What little interest there is, I think, will completely peter out. But I may be completely wrong. Jason Momoa does have a lot of pull at the box office. We'll see. We will see. Now, we wouldn't be an Atomic Blonde review about a Korean drama, would there? So this one, The Uncanny Counter, I started watching a while ago, actually, but this one on Netflix, it's subtitle only. So it's one of those ones I hadn't really got time to sit down and watch it. As I said, a lot of the Korean dramas, I tend to have the dubbed one on. So I am sort of, doing stuff, or I can do stuff while it's on. Obviously, this one I've just got to sit and watch, which is actually really good, because it does make me focus. I'm not looking on my phone, and, it's actually really nice to just sit and watch something without distractions. So the premise of this is you've got this noodle house. I know you're all scratching your heads going, what? So it's noodle house in Korea. And the three people that run it are actually, the four people that run it are actually linked to like heavenly beings. So each one of them had a near-death experience, and they were kind of given a choice to say, like, you're basically dying. Do you just want to die and go into the afterlife, or do you want to be a counter? And we'll send you back to Earth, and then you'll fight evil spirits. Obviously, this is dangerous. You could die, but you'll get more time before that happens. So these guys agreed to do that. And when they're linked to like sort of celestial being kind of thing, obviously they have different powers. So one has the powers, like they all have increased strength, but one has like even more strength than the others. One has the ability to heal. One has the ability to sort of to psychically feel these spirits and where they are, and read memories and see images of what's gone on. And in the opening episode, one of the counters is killed by an evil spirit. They call them evil spirits, but they're kind of like demons, and they have like different levels. And so that level 3 demon, obviously the higher the number, the stronger they get, and the harder they are to kill or banish. So they banish the demons, and then these evil spirits only go or possess evil people. So Normally it's because they've already like been violent, or they're not good people to start with, hence the demon can kind of take them over. So once they kind of banish the demon, they normally then take them to police, or they're sort of left outside the police station, and they've got saying like that, they're handed in, they're confessing, or whatever, for the crimes they've committed while they were possessed. So one of the counters is killed, and that kind of celestial being's essence is sort of thrown out of the body, and it ends up in the body of this young lad here at the front, Mun, whose parents were killed in a car accident when he was sort of 10 or 11. He was also in the car but survived, but it damaged his leg, so he's got a leg that he can't use properly and has crutches. Him and his friends are bullied at school, which is a very common theme in these Korean dramas. And again, they don't shy away from the violence in this, or the beatings that these kids take. This is quite unusual, because again, they normally only ever go into people who having a near-death experience, but because he had a near-death experience when he's a child, they think that's how the spirit was able to go into him. Now, so you've got this sort of supernatural theme running, but then you've also got, as it plays out, it's kind of, talking about police corruption and political corruption, and people being killed, and it's a whole plot line. So one of the other counters, Motok, who's the strong guy, he used to be a policeman, and he fell off a building onto a car, and obviously had like severe brain damage, and he should have died but was made a counter. But he has no memory of before, and it turns out that he was a policeman, and he was actually investigating something with Mun's father, and there's this whole kind of like thriller whodunit's playing out alongside this whole supernatural side of things. Now, in their sort of Korean spiritual beliefs is that when the demon or the evil spirit kills someone, they take their soul, so they can't ascend to heaven, or which they call Jung, which is where these heavenly bodies are. So there's a whole thing about Mum finds out that he agrees to be a counter if he can see his parents again, which they agreed to. Then they find out that his parents aren't actually in heaven. It all transpires that an evil demon has their souls. So it's about them trying to get this demon, free his parents, but also bring down the bad guys in the human world who are involved with these evil spirits, but corruption. I've really, really enjoyed this show. I'd say it's on 2 levels. It's not massively leaning into the supernatural per se, probably more sort of faith, I guess, and beliefs of sort of afterlife and things like that. But that whole very premise of second chances, and they say the fight scenes are great. They do not shy away from the violence. As I've said many, many times, like if you're a bit squeamish, Korean dramas are not for you. But I've absolutely loved this. It's 16 episodes on Netflix. Like I say, it is subtitle only, but do give it a go. Do try. The more you watch these with subtitles, the easier it gets. You guys, once you're in it, you're in it. And as you see there, season 2 is coming next week, which I cannot wait for. I think season 1 was a few years ago now, and I guess because of COVID, and there was some scandal with the lead guy that plays Mun in Korea. I think he was accused of bullying or something like that when he was at school, which seems to happen to Korean stars quite a lot. The K-drama stars and K-pop stars all transpired that he was falsely accused. He wasn't. And he's been able to return to the show, which is great because he's a really good character in this. Wears his heart on his sleeve. He cries a lot. It seems to, I guess it's okay in Korean culture to cry because he cries a lot. But he's also like, it's quite justified. It's quite realistic when he gets upset. And the relationships he builds with the other counters, especially the older lady, she's always like sort of surrogate mum to him because he's been brought up by his grandparents. His grandma has sort of dementia or Alzheimer's. So sometimes she doesn't even know who he is. He has to remind her on a regular basis that her daughter's passed away. You know, so there's quite some heartfelt moments in this, and this is why I love Korean dramas so much, because they're not one-dimensional. They, you know, there's real character arcs and development, and you learn about their families and their backstories, and you really care about these characters. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the uncanny counter. I have no idea why they're uncanny, but something lost in translation, I'm sure. But do check it out. Say, if you've got the patience, give it a go. And say season 2 starts next week, which I cannot wait for, because I loved season 1. I just wish I had more time to sit down and watch these shows without interruptions. So it takes me a little while to get through them when it's just subtitles. But do enjoy on Netflix. Great Korean drama. Yeah, and lastly, guys, I mean, rumors abound. The Marvels, I mean, twofold. Oh my God, have you seen that dire second trailer for the Marvels? It looks so bad. The CGI is appalling. You still can't even work out really what the story is, what story they're trying to tell. Who knows? You know, this is gonna tank hard, really hard. And if they had any sense, they should have just dropped it on, either just scrap it. But hey, it's setting up the new Avengers for us, the Teen Avengers. Can't wait. And just dropped it on Disney Plus and just let people forget about it. But no, they're pushing ahead. Now there's obviously a rumor again, because of all the strikes, whether this could be delayed again. It's already been delayed 5 times, people. 5 times. It has no credibility. It's a laughing stock before it's even come out. If they delay it again, I honestly, they've got no choice but to stick it on Disney Plus. You know, nobody is going to go see this film. We'll see. I mean, they might just, you know, bite the bullet, stick it out, because it's not going to do well whether the actors can promote it or not. And to be fair, do you really want Brie Larson out there wooing the audience with her congeniality? Probably not so much. The girl who plays Miss Marvel seems lovely, and you know, she loves all this stuff. She seems like a really sweet girl, and it's a shame that they just given her so crap a character to work with, because I think actually she could do really well in these. But so nothing against the actress, but yeah, this is destined to do really badly. And what I'm gutted about, if this turns out to be true, Dune Part 2, currently slated, I think, for the 3rd of November. Again, they're talking about pushing this back into early 2024. In case the strike is still going and the actors can't promote it. I don't know. I'm on the fence with that. I mean, actors do come out with really stupid things, as we know. Is it a bad thing they can't promote their films? Probably not. They can't say something stupid and pee off their audience. But, you know, Part 1 in the main, apart from Rebecca Ferguson, you know, wanging on about the patriarchy and how James Herbert didn't go, not James Herbert, that's a completely different author. You know, who wrote Dune. Seriously. What was I saying? Yeah, if she'd read all the books, she wouldn't be making the statements she was making. It's a massively matriarchal society and set up in the Dune novels. A really stupid statement that she made. Hopefully that she's actually finished the book now, that, you know, she can make some more intelligent statements second time around. But yeah, I will be gutted, absolutely gutted, if this gets delayed. This is the film I have been looking forward to all year. It's the one thing I really want to go see. probably the only sort of massive highlight for me this year in terms of, I mean, there's been some films out, you know, they've been good, some have been good, some not so good. But there's really not been for me anything massive to really get me excited to go see. Like, I cannot wait. And this was the film. So yeah, I will genuinely be absolutely gutted if this gets pushed back. Yeah, because I got my let me just try and get this without looking at everything on the floor. Ooh. Like that. Oh, I've lost his hat. There we go. So if you can see that, let me just go bit full screen there. Oh, wrong one. There we go. There we go. My Paul Atreides. Look at that. 1 in 6. Yeah, so it comes with loads of great little stuff. You've got the box, you know, Truth put his hand in there, so it's little hats on the floor. But yeah, this is great. You've got the detail on here, his uniform, his trench coat. I'm so chuffed. This came a little while ago now, but I finally got around to taking him out of the box. But if you can sort of see the head sculpt there, it's really, really good. I'm really pleased with this. They do another version where he's like in the desert suit, and I think they brought out a gurney as well, which is Josh Brolin's character from the film, which I may have to look into getting, but I'll just pop that there for now. But yeah, and that's my June poster there. So yes, I am a fan. So yeah, I'm hoping it's not true. I can understand why the studios don't want to put things out without promotion, but yeah, be really, really disappointed. Like, in terms of all the strikes and things going on, I really don't care that much. There's some things that need to be addressed, you know, with the residuals and this whole AI thing, fine. But, you know, they've got to prove that people are watching the shows. Streaming have to release their figures. You know, we saw that idiot from the writer's room from She-Hulk who only got $300 residual. Dude, you're overpaid. I wouldn't pay you 10p for the scripts that you co-wrote for flipping She-Hulk. I mean, talk about giving the studios an argument not to give you a pay rise, quite frankly. Kind of counterproductive, that one. So anyway, so yeah, this is the first time I've really been a bit like, oh gosh, I hope they get it sorted. Very selfish, I know. Yeah, finally, but I think that speaks volumes about, you know, the quality of the TV, the quality of the films that we've been getting this year, that people really aren't that bothered if things get pushed back, you know. But yeah, obviously, good reviews so far for Oppenheimer. Yeah, I'm still on the fence about going to see that one. And Barbie, I think I kind of been, but I thought it'd be quite, hopefully, just a bit of fun, bit of silliness. But hearing it's very intersectional, all men are bad, and Ryan Gosling's best thing in it. So, but I think that's very much for me now. I'll wait till it comes onto streaming. You know, I don't particularly want to go see something where it's just all about kicking men. I don't think that's the right way to go. And for me, that's not feminism anyway. That's kind of oppression, right? Anywho's, if you did enjoy it, I'm glad there's something out there that you can go watch and enjoy. We all like different things. And this is the point, we need different genres. We need different types of films to go and see, which I was talking about last week. Go catch last week's Sunday lunch where I was talking about, when we talk about diversity, we need diversity of movies. So what if I don't like Barbie? Or maybe I will like Barbie. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Who knows? But if I don't like it, that's fine. And if people do like it, that's fine. There should be different types of movies with different types of people, different types of taste. And there's something for everybody. And then hopefully our box office and our TV won't be so polarizing, that there's something that everybody can get something from, like the good old days, hey. Wishful thinking, I'm sure. Well, anyway, that's it. That's my musings for another week. Do go check out Hijack, Uncanny Counter. Really enjoyed that. And yeah, let me know whether you've been to see Oppenheimer or Barbie. What do you think? Do you think I should go? Really love to know your thoughts. So you will have a great week. Say hopefully 1 year anniversary stream next week, but my life's a bit crazy. I'm away with work next week, and there's a lot going on. If I can't do a live one, I promise, obviously there will be a recorded show. But yeah, have a fantastic week. Take care. Do like, share, and subscribe as always. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.